Okay, so in this video we're going to be going through the GCSE Maths November 2018 paper. This is a higher paper and non-calculator. So let's get started. So the first question, it's an indices question. So we have 3 to the power 7 times 3 to the minus 2 divided by 3 to the power 3. And we're asked to evaluate this. So if we do this, just writing it out in steps. So the first step, we can combine the powers. So we get 3 to the power 5 over 3 to the power 3. And then we can subtract the powers. So we get 9 as the answer. The next question says work out the value of v. So again, write out the equation and put in the numbers. 144 plus 2 times by minus 3 times by 18. Oh, sorry, I did it in my head. So it should be 12. So we get 144 plus 2 times minus 3 is minus 6 times by 18. And then if we do it here on the side, 18 times by 6. 8 times 6 is 48. 6 times 1 is 6, plus 4 is 10. So we get 108. So we get 144 minus 108, which gives us 36. And so v would be the square root of 36, which gives you plus or minus 6. So either of these should give you the correct answer. Make S the subject. So here we write out the equation and we move the u squared first, and then we can move the 2a afterwards. So here we move u squared, here we move the 2a. So our answer is v squared minus u squared all over 2a. Next question, we have a bonus of 2,100. It's shared between 10 people. 40% is between the 3 managers. The rest is between the 7 salesmen. One of the salesmen says, if the bonus is shared equally between all 10 people, I will get 25% more money. And we need to say whether the salesman was correct or not. Well, let's go with the salesman's assumption. And let's see. So we could say if we have the situation where it's shared equally, then we can say 2,100 shared equally between 10, which is £210. Okay. And then in the other scenario, we've got the other scenario, which is this here. Then what we can do is we can say, well, 40% is shared between the 3 managers. We care about the salesman. So that means we have 60%, which must be between the salesmen. And 60% of the total amount, we do this, 60 over 100 times 2100. We can cancel zeros, so we get 60 times 21. So we get 0 and then 6, and we get 0, and then 12, so we get 1,260. So this amount of 1,260 is shared between the same 7 salesmen. 1,260 divided by the 7, and if we do that, we get £180. Now, what we can do is now find 25% of this amount. 25% of 180 be 1/4 times 180. £45. So £45 is greater than £30. So the answer is no. So the salesman get less than 25%. Next question. It would take 120 minutes to fill a swimming pool full of water from 5 taps. How many minutes will it take to fill the pool if only 3 taps are used? Well, we can calculate what we can call the total fill time would be not the number of taps, which will be 5 times by how many minutes? I'll give you 600. We can call it fill minutes. And then if we now have 3 taps, then how long will that take? Time for 3 taps. Well, that would just be that total time it took to fill divided by 3 taps, which would give us 200 minutes. So let's fill that in. State one assumption that was made. Well, we assume that all of the taps fill water at the same rate. So we assume all taps are filled at the same rate. A plane travels at a speed of 213 miles per hour. Work out an estimate for the number of seconds the plane takes to travel 1 mile. Well, this is effectively a speed equals distance over time question. So we want to work out an estimate for the time. So time is your speed, or your distance, divided by your speed. Okay, so if this is an estimate, we can approximate. So your distance, we'll say, is 200, is 1 mile. Your speed is 213 miles per hour, which we'll say is roughly 200. So if that's the case, we have 1 over 200 hours, which in seconds, well, we know 1 minute, 1 hour is 60 times 60, which is 3,600 seconds. So therefore, our answer would be this multiplied by 3,600, which, if we do it correctly, would give us 18 seconds. Is your answer to part A an underestimate or overestimate? Well, if we take a look, what we did was we rounded down the speed, and since the speed is in the denominator of the fraction, when we round this number down, what that means is that our overall answer would be a lot larger than it would be otherwise. So our answer is it's an overestimate, since we rounded the speed down, meaning time is larger than otherwise.